Leah, how do you evaluate your season in 2024?
It was a great season, busy, lots of events, both on the rackets and real tennis court. On the rackets, I had my Ladies World Singles Defense Queen's Club, which I successfully retained, so that was obviously a highlight. On the real tennis court, playing my first Ladies Bathurst here in Australia, so that was also fun to take part in this team event. And then I had some good results, both in singles and doubles, in the men's and in the women's event. So no, it's going great. Looking forward to a good 24-25 season.
And how is the club in Bordeaux doing? It's been there for a number of years now.
Bordeaux's doing great. Yeah, it's been now since 2022 that I've sort of got involved more with my new committee. The numbers are slowly getting there. It's still a tough job, trying to sort of develop to the levels they should be. But we've got a great team in place. We've got Bordeaux, our local pro, who's doing some good job, and it's looking better and better with lots of events that we're organising, both nationals and international events. So I'm confident that if we keep going like that, creating this very homely atmosphere that will keep attract international visitors throughout the season, and also trying to retain local members to try and build a membership.
Turning to your play, this is your second time in Hobart, your first Australian Open in the summer. What are your memories from playing the Australian Open Women's here last year in March?
Although coming to Australia in March was a lot of fun, and actually as soon as I got back, I think I took my ticket for this event like within 10 days because I enjoyed it so much. There's something special about Hobart and Australia in general. People are so welcoming, friendly, and I just enjoy being on the other side of the world. It's always a journey coming here, and God knows this time it wasn't hassle-free. But I can't complain. This is the beauty of our sport. We get to play in amazing places like Hobart. So very excited to be here in summertime. It's not too hot. So as far as I'm concerned, it's perfect condition on a nice court. So it's just about getting in the groove of the tournament, getting over the jet lag, getting physically and mentally ready for big battles ahead this week.
How does it feel having two players in an open draw who are French, outside of a French Open, for the first time in your club pro Bordeaux?
I think first time in almost history, I want to say as well, for the Australian Open. So that's huge. Huge for Bordeaux. It's his first time as well in Australia. So I'm very happy that he gets the experience, to play outside of Bordeaux, and also to enter his second ever Grand Slam event. So I think it's great for the club. We represent not just Bordeaux but France in general. So it goes to show that we are a force to be reckoned with in terms of participation. It's not like we're gonna create any surprise in the main draw. So although you never know, but we're mainly here to sort of gain experience and make the most of it. So it's great.
This is the first time that you have entered the main draw of the open draw of an Open. How does it feel to be playing at that level now?
Oh, it's great. It's always a sort of a great honor to compete with literally the best players in the world. So for me, I'm not going to lie, I treat it as a pure practice and the kind of best practice I can get, playing 5 sets, best of 5, let's say, so 3 sets. So it's great for me. I'm here to play as much as I can, high intensity, good tennis, and hopefully that will serve me good for the rest of the season. That will be rather important with the Ladies World Championship end of May in sort of the top objective this season.
We'll come to that in a moment, but your first round match is against Chris Chapman, was originally against Ben Taylor Matthews. What do you want to get out of that match?
Yeah, whether I play Ben or Chris or any other top players, for me, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go out there to play my best, living it out all there. So I've got a few, serves and return I want to practice. I want to also practice to be a bit more aggressive than I'm normally used to. So, I've got the kind of best ball machine in front of me, so it's up to me to make the most of that. So, it's pretty clear in my head what I'm supposed to do. So now I hope that on the day, the stars will align to be able to perform to the level to which I want to perform. So, yeah.
In the women's draw, you're coming in as the number 2 seed. You it's a similar shape at the top of the draw to the last Australian Women's Open. What's it going to take to improve on that scoreline this year?
What's it going to take? Well, I feel number 2 is a great place because I'm the underdog. All the pressure is, let's say, it's not on me. I'm here to play my best, and I've had some really good games against Claire in the last couple of events, even though the scoreline didn't necessarily reflect the intensity of the match. I definitely feel like I'm getting closer. Since French Open, I've started a new training program, both physically and mentally, and I feel like I'm getting there. Every time I step on court, I'm getting closer to my objective. So this event is very much for me a key not milestone, but key testing point for me to be able to evaluate, right, how do I feel, what works, what might not work, and what I need to adjust to be ready in 5 months' time. So I'm not putting myself much pressure on this event. This is very much a big practice for me. I'm going to try a few, maybe weird different things, we'll see. But it's all building up to that bigger objective in 5 months' time.
How do you find the court here in Hobart? It's probably at the more extreme end as far as courts go. How does that play into or play against your style?
It is a different court, for sure. It's got a rather severe forehand corner down at the service end. The roofs are a bit flatter, so it takes some adjustment, not to mention the smaller grill, which I've personally given up to. I feel like if you're not aiming for it, you're gonna end up touching it way more often. So yeah, few adjustment needed, but quite friendly adjustment compared to the other courts. So it's warm, so it's quite bouncy. It's quite a bouncy court, but it takes some nice killing shots. So as far as my game is concerned, it's quite a good court for me. So I'm hoping to be able to put my game into place, play some good serves and return like I know I can, and just have enough to kind of improve on the scoreline like we talked about.
In the doubles, you're playing with Jess. In all likelihood, a final against Claire and Saskia, given the players who are in the draw. Should that final eventuate, it would be a rematch of the French Open final from a few months ago, which was a very, very close competitive match. How do you see your partnership with Jess developing going into this tournament?
I'm so happy to play with Jess. I look at doubles a bit differently than the singles. For me, it's more fun. So less pressure, really, less ambition. Put it that way in doubles. But having said that, sometimes I play some of my best doubles with Jess because I've got this more relaxed attitude. So if you look at French Open, we play an amazing match. We steamrolled through that first set, and then Claire was very clever in changing up, the service receiving order, which kind of rattled us out. And when we switched back again, it was all too late. But when we look at that, the level that she and I was able to play against the 2 best players in the world, that was pretty encouraging. So yeah, we still got that match on our throat, if that's an English expression. Like, we haven't quite digested that because we were so close and it felt beatable and within reach. So we're very pumped for this, and as far as the tactic goes, we're going to play well. We're going to show up to that, if we go there to the final with the same sort of mental and same competitiveness that we showed in Paris, and hopefully with a few more adjustment and right strategic decision at the key moments, which again Claire did really well in Paris. We hope that in this time that it will go on us favour. So very motivated Jess. I really enjoy playing with her. She's really good fun. She was my first ever doubles partner when I first started back in 2017, so it's always special playing with her, and she's always got that capability to raise her level and turn up to the big points. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Turning now to the Women's World Championship, we've recently had the announcement of the change in the format, whereby the defending champion is straight to the final. The defending challenger is in the number 2 spot, awaiting a player from the qualification rounds. We'll get to the event in May in a moment, but what's your opinion and thoughts on that new format?
Great, I applaud. It was about time that these changes came into place and were made official. So personally, I had been lobbying for those kind of changes for years, so I'm glad it's finally, out there and will be secure for the next events. I think it makes the whole ladies World Championship event much more professional, less of a, like I used to call it, Mickey Mouse event where anyone can enter. Like, that's not the point of the World Championship. It's the top players that earn the right to sort of compete against each other for the most biggest title. So as far as those changes are proposed and concerned, I'm very happy. I think it brings much spotlight and much more legitimacy to the game as a whole, and particularly for the final. I hear now it's best of 5, and I think that's great, and that should generally be generalized to to all the other opens, in my opinion, because best of 3 is in no way now enough, especially in the final. When you've got 2 competitive players, it's just not enough to determine a title. So, yeah, so I welcome and I thanked and applaud all those people who are involved in making those changes, and I encourage everyone, well, we'll see how this one goes, but maybe building on that to propose much more, changes across all the tournaments.
And so now, turning to the event in May, it's going to be in Newport in Rhode Island. What's your approach going to be to that particular tournament? How are you feeling leading up to that and in the build up to that?
I don't think I've ever felt as motivated and determined as I feel now. I feel like in previous World Championships I was maybe lacking a little bit of that experience. Certainly in Fontainebleau I was still as I call myself, a baby, a real tennis baby, and playing at home for my first World Championship it was I think a little bit too much, and I didn't have what it took at that time to kind of like handle certainly the pressure that I put on myself, because I want to do well and make all the people around me proud. So Fontainebleau was a great learning experience. Didn't go at all the way I wanted, but that was one for the experience both. Playing the Oratory, the last one, was also a good experience for me, even though I was on Claire's home turf, so that was always going to be tough. But I felt like even the way I approached the match, the way I approached her was different, and I feel like that's the win that I got in the rackets last May kind of like provoked some change, definitely in the mental side, how I approached her, how I approached the match. And as I say now, I feel like it's just a matter of, it's just up to me. Before it was more of an experience, like there was too much of an experience gap. Now I feel like if I can get focused, make the necessary change in my lifestyle, my fitness program, my mental program, like it's just a matter of how much do I really want this. And God knows now I want it. I made all the changes in my life to kind of focus only on that sole objective. So like the way I talk about it can seem like, oh, she's putting so much pressure on it, but no, like it's all, I'm not gonna say it's fun, but I love having a single objective which gives me so much purpose on a daily life. Everything I do is towards that goal, and it's just a great feeling to be so focused, and it puts everything in perspective, and I'm just so looking forward to giving my best. And either way I'll have a great run, and if I can get that title for me, for my club, for my country, for my people, that'll be a hell of an achievement. But so it's so to answer the question, so my spirit is very much motivated, but not all in the sense that my world is not going to collapse if my objective is not attained. I've got a job, I've got a club, I've got a family, I've got everything. So it's sort of it's a balanced, very determined mindset, and I'm looking forward to big fights in May for sure.
Thoughts on the venue?
Newport, I love it. Great, best venue in the US as far as I'm concerned, because it's got that homely, accessible feeling that the other clubs might not necessarily have, because they're quite different prestige, let's put it that way. I know a few people in Newport as well, so it always makes it a bit nicer if you have a few contacts. So and Newport in May is stunning. So as far as I'm concerned, great venue, and I know they'll organize a great job, just like they did with the last men's championship. So awesome.
And lastly, what are your plans outside the World Championship for other tournaments on the tennis and the rackets court in 2025?
It's going to be a very busy season for me. So when I get back from Australia, I plan to enter the Ladies US Open in Philadelphia first week of February. Then in March, back in France, in Bordeaux, we have the national gold racket, the equivalent of the UK gold racket. So that's in March. In April, I'm planning to enter the Ladies British Open singles. And then in May, I've got both Ladies Rackets World Doubles Defence in Queen's Club, 10th and 11th May. And then I'm off to Newport straight after that to prepare last weekend of May.
And are you defending with Cheska again? Or?
Yes, yeah. So very looking forward to that. Cheska is a great player. You know, she's one of those young guns, all fiery, very good cricket player, and you know we played really well together last time. I wasn't sure we were going to defend, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't sure I was motivated enough, but she really kind of lifted me up for that one. So bring it on.
Leah, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.